Good morning and welcome here to the orientation session, taking you around the Good Food Network so that you can know what's happening in the network, where you can find different pieces, and to know whether or not this month might be something for you. I do these calls at 9 a.m. Alberta time, always on the first of the month. If the first falls on a weekend, then we move it to the Monday. But it's really meant to be a spot where you can ask questions and you can do a little bit of discovery for yourself to know, is this an issue that your body is trying to tell you that you need to address? So we are talking about blood sugar balancing this month. So I'm going to just open up the waiting room so that people can just come straight in. Awesome. And mute all upon entry. Yes, just in case. Okay, so we are ready to go. Lovely to see your sweet faces. Welcome, my name is Lucas Simmons. I'm your holistic nutrition practitioner. I'm based in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in a little place called Calgary, Alberta. This is traditional land of the Kainai, Pitsikanni, and the Stoney Nakoda nations here on Treaty 7 territory. And it is also the land where it's stinking cold right now, which winter is upon us, which is so fortuitous because in the network today, we just switched from fall to winter. There is a piece to the network that shifts every time there's a new season. So in December, we switched to winter, about eating along seasonal and eating with one of those traditional and for us ate because they had no other choice. They did not eat tropical fruit, oranges that were brought up for a special gift at Christmas. So, hello, Alicia, welcome. So I've got you on mute just because we are running through some of this stuff. If you have any questions as you're watching this video, whether you're joining us live or you are catching the replay, wherever you're catching this video, jot your question in the comments below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen to show you what else is happening in the network this month. This is going to be a bit trippy. It's okay for a second. It is a bit trippy. It's like you saw two of me. Okay, all right, here we are. So I'm going to take you through this Good Food Network for the month of December. So what is the Good Food Network? Just to give you a quick update, in case this is something new you're stumbling across. The network is built as this hub of activity that I want you to think of it like a buffet. When you go to the buffet with your family, do you go and eat everything under the glass? No. Every different person at the table has a different makeup of things on their plate. And it's the very same thing here at the Good Food Network. So I offer a buffet. You get to come up to the buffet and pick the pieces you want. You get the whole month to dive into the content. I would say if you can commit an hour a week, you're going to get good value out of the network. So I'm going to take you through what are the different pieces to the network this month. There are some standard pieces that are the same every time. So this month, I'm actually going to skip those pieces. Part of it is because I talk about them often and I don't want to bore you. So I'm going to take you through, this is what the actual network looks like. It's built as modules. So every theme or every offering has its own module. They are sectioned in 3 different places. This is where to begin, kind of pieces to know for this month specific. We have live sessions as part of the Good Food Network. We have some pre-recorded content as part of what you can access over the course of the month. And we have written content. So you got 3 different types of things that you can access. So I'm going to start, I was just talking about that eating with the seasons piece. So I've just published a new one this morning. Up until yesterday, you accessed the fall pieces. Today, it is about the winter. So this short video takes you through how to think about eating with the seasons, why this may help you align yourself with nature, and why aligning yourself with nature and the natural rhythms of the natural world will go to actually nourish you deeply and reduce those symptoms that are going on for you. It's a life hack. Takes a bit of wrapping your head around, but the more you hear about it, the more you check in with it, and the more you tap in to see what it is every season, the more you bring yourself back to earth, the more you are eating the foods that your ancestors ate at this time, the more you're going to reduce some of those symptoms. So much of our symptoms are driven by this fact that we are separating from the natural world. So those symptoms, I think, to me, are an indication that we are trying to evolve. How's that evolution going for you? Are you trying to do 18 generations of evolution in one lifetime? No. If you want to take a bit of a slower route through that evolutionary piece, bring in that eating with the seasons piece. So how to make the most of this module, this video will take you through. These are the handouts just to show you what these look like. I'm not sure if you can actually see them. I hope you can. So this, oh, apparently I need to change the handout. So it is the eating with the seasons. Thank you. I'll make a note. Sometimes it doesn't save properly. So I'll go back and I'll upload that. The handout goes through different foods to focus on for the season. We highlight different roots and teas and herbs to feature and why those may be of service and benefit in this current season. We talk about, from a traditional Chinese medicine standpoint, I'm not a practitioner, but I find this stuff fascinating. From a TCM point of view, what organ is the main organ of the season? Do you know what it is for winter? The kidneys and the adrenals. And as a supporting crew, your bones. So for the winter season, the foods that are on that list happen to be seasonal foods. They also happen to be foods that nourish deeply when it comes to the kidneys, the adrenals, and the bones. So for anybody who has any kind of adrenal fatigue, adrenal insufficiency, or fatigue piece to what's going on for you in terms of symptoms, you're going to get some benefits from joining the network. Anybody who's dealing with osteoporosis, osteopenia, any kidney stuff, chronic kidney disease, all sorts of things. You also get a recipe bundle for this season. So the winter recipe bundle has beef or bison meat stock, which happens to be a brilliant ally at this time of year. Simple roasted beet salad and happens to be low histamine, which is beneficial because when histamine issues are around, very often I see that there's an adrenal piece and a kidney piece to it. So addressing histamines is totally the winter thing to do. Happens to be my specialty. All right. Simple roasted beet salad. If you don't need to keep it low histamine, here's a bit of a maybe easier recipe for you. And then we have jelly babies, which is really kind of gummies. So those are the recipes featured in just that winter recipe bundle. And they are going to be available until the end of February. So whenever you join the network, these are things that you can print up and start playing with in your kitchen. And that food list is also all ready to download in about 10 minutes after I wrap this video up. I will update that. The other piece in the written content, we have some recipes. So these are your recipes for the month. They change up every month. And because we are focusing on the topic of blood sugar balancing in the month of December, I wanted to make sure that we have some really good foods available here that do that heavy lifting of balancing your blood sugars. So they feature some of those nutrients you need. They may also be some of these foods that support the organs that are working hard when blood sugar balancing is an issue. Got beet and arugula salad, meatballs with superpowers, turkey Thai meatball soup, smoked oyster pate, and a chocolate chia pudding. What? Luca, that's a dessert. If I'm struggling with blood sugar balancing, maybe you shouldn't have desserts because we shouldn't eat sweets. Do you want sweets? Do you miss sweets? Would you like to include some? This is how you do it. And you get the gist of this when you join the network and the why. It's really because it's a rich offering of high protein, high fat, and fairly low sugar that helps to balance your blood sugars long term. Yeah. So there are the recipes. You get to download them right there. So these you have access to for the month of December. Now that takes us through the written content. So as soon as you join the network, you start to think, oh man, how is this built? How is this broken down? Well, 3 sections again, and I'll go through them. I guess there's 4. There's kind of the intro pieces to give you the lay of the land for the month. Then we have those live sessions. We have pre-recorded content and we have the written content. Now we've just run through that written content. What if you are a bit overwhelmed when you first start? Well, you start in with Start Here Kitten. There's a lot of content in there, including how this network works. What are the different moving parts? So start there. I mean, that's why it's called Start Here. But once you get the lay of the land, then you think, oh, well, how do I know what's happening where? And how do I keep track of all of those pieces on the smorgasbord, Luca? How will I know what I want to put on my plate? This is where you go. You check out the module called Schedule and Checklist. So this is the schedule. There's a visual here, and then you can also download, if you wish, to your computer. You can print up and have on the side so you can access it. And I always print mine up so that I can keep track of what's happening on which days. Now on the schedule, you tend to have only the live content. Every Thursday morning, we meet at 7 a.m. You can join us live or you can watch the replay for the Food as Medicine. So this is a 15, 20-minute video done once a week. So this takes you through very specific topics built into that blood sugar balancing, kind of your to-do list, if you will, how food can help address some of that blood sugar balancing stuff. Now, we also have office hours. They are now moving to once every 2 weeks. They used to be every week, but I heard from folks in the network that it was just too much and it was a bit of an overkill. So I reduced it. And in so doing, we also reduced the price. The price is almost half of what it used to be because I took out some other pieces, which it doesn't matter now. So we're down to $55 a month. So the cost is $55 a month, to be clear. And you get to stay in the network as long as you wish. And you get to say sayonara when you've got your fill. So other pieces happening this month. On the 14th of December, we're doing a class on blood sugar balancing level 400. Here, we're going to do a 1-hour deep dive into some of those level 400 helpers. A lot of people, when you're starting to look online, you'll see, oh, blood sugar balancing, I need to eat breakfast, I need to up my protein, I need to reduce my carb intake, move to slow carbs. Okay, that's the food piece. And I talk about that ad nauseum in other pieces of the network. But I knew that there are some people, about half the people with whom I work one-on-one are like, what are the supplements, Luca? What are those superfoods that I can bring in? So I've got a full 1-hour class dedicated to the supplement and the superfoods that we're going to be doing on December 14th. So this will be for those people who've put in some of the beginning pieces already and want to take this work to the next level. Something to know, though. This is available if you're in the network. You don't have to pay for it. It's included in the cost of the network. I'm also making it on offer for those who only want the level 400 class. So you can find how to register for this class as a standalone class by itself. You can register for that through my website at lucasimmons.com, and it's under live events. So if you only want that blood sugar balancing level 400 class, that's $30. And if you want access to everything else in the network for the rest of the month, then it's $55. So you get to choose what price point you prefer and how to keep it simple for yourself. If having all of the different moving parts helps you, then join the network. If you only want the level 400, just sign up for the blood sugar balancing level 400 class. Both of these, by the way, on my website, wherever you're catching this, there should also be links to these things. Let me write down blood sugar balancing links, level 400. I have to make notes of these, otherwise I'll forget what I said. So there's a schedule. You can also print it up. You get to download to your computer and print it up from there. I also build a checklist for every month. So these are all the to-do pieces that are potential for you. So when you first start out at the beginning of the month, this is where you start. You actually print this guy up. This is the visual. And here is the downloadable one that you can print from your own computer. This has those different pieces. So first, did you check out the month schedule and did you print it? Awesome. Then we have a module on blood sugar balancing to get you started, to know if this is an issue for you, what you can do, and what this looks like and how this can benefit. There are also some of these recorded classes. We've got the Real Food Reset video. I'll go through what these are. There's a scratch cooking class, whole cooking class. There is a blood sugar balancing class that I just finished yesterday, actually, just brand spanking new, and only people in the network can access. We've got a cooking class on curries as well, so you can also get into this class. Then we've got those Thursday morning classes, those Food as Medicine 7 a.m. calls. Then we've got that blood sugar balancing level 400 class. You can also catch a replay if you wish. Did you print the recipes? Did you print the Eating with the Seasons handout and recipe bundle? And then we've got a couple of Tuesday office hours going on. So there's the whole list. What I suggest when you first print this up, you go, I'm not joining the office hours and I'm not catching the replays. That's too much for me, Luca. Scratch it out. But go through and start with just the easy stuff. These last two, print up your recipes for the month and print up that Eating with the Seasons handout and the recipes included there. That's where you start. That's the easy stuff. There is a short video to watch for Eating with the Seasons, but just print the recipes up and you're on your way already. And then when you're ready to add another piece and say you dedicate, I don't know, Monday nights to catching the content in the network. 7 o'clock on Monday nights, you're going to school. 7 o'clock on Monday nights, you sit down at your computer, you've got that checklist printed up. What's it going to be this week? Schedule 1 hour every Monday night at 7 or Saturday mornings at 8 before the kids are out of bed because you have teenagers now. I don't know. Find a time that is the same every week where you can dedicate that hour to yourself. Sit down, check the checklist. What's the piece you're going to do week 1, week 2, week 3? Week 4 is Christmas, so you get the week off. Sure, it's up to you. Or there's a little bit more downtime between Christmas and New Year's. Do you want to bang out a couple of hours? Could you catch that vitality blood sugar balancing class in there? So schedule your month for yourself at the start of the month so that you can keep on top of those tasks for yourself so that you can make sure that you've got the most out of this network. Because the investment of 55, it's nothing to sneeze at. I want you to make sure you feel you've got a good use of the network. Schedule in that hour a week and you're on your way. So this is what is all available. There's a little bit more information on live and replay sessions there. Let's go back to our modules to see what else we can look at. So our main topic this month is blood sugar balancing. So every month I curate content based on this one topic. And this month we're talking about blood sugars. Now, I want to be clear. This is not just for type 2, type 1 diabetes. It's not just for people who eat candies. I've eaten quite well for the majority of my life, save for 15 years of 17, okay, maybe 12 years. 12 years, 17 to 30, 13 years maybe. I did not eat well 17 to 30, but the rest of my life I have eaten like a queen. Do you know who has the biggest blood sugar balancing issues on the planet? Me. Do I eat candy? No, I don't even have a sweet tooth. I don't even like desserts unless it is a really good apple crisp that my mom makes. I don't like cakes. I am not a cookie fiend. I used to have chocolate bars in my lunch and in my drawers at work, but I no longer love sweet things, but I still have blood sugar balancing issues. It can show up one of many, many different ways. I'm going to take you through how to know what are some of those pieces so that you can figure out, oh man, I had no idea I have blood sugar balancing issues. So let's go through this. Do you say yes to at least one of these? This is a really long list. So if you've got a piece of paper next to you and a pen, I want you to jot down any of these that resonate. So yeah, you can read through them, but I'm going to read through them so that you can just jot down. I'm interested to see how many yeses you get. And when you get a yes, I want to hear in the comments, wherever you're watching this video, how many did you say yes to? All right. You can even just write the symptom, or you can just put a check mark for each one you say yes to, and then count your check marks at the end. Do you get hangry, or do you get the shakes over the course of the day? Do you have cravings? They can be sweet cravings. It can also be salty cravings. It can also be cravings for chocolate. They all indicate something different, but they are all linked to blood sugar imbalance. Do you have a stash of candy bars? For me, it was Mars bars, or crackers or candy in your desk drawer at work or in the pantry. Do you have hormonal imbalances, anything to do with fertility, troubles with your periods, any skin issues, any sleep issues, any testosterone issues, those kinds of things? Do you require a nap mid-afternoon? Does your energy crash between lunch and supper? Does your energy crash at certain times of the day? Maybe it's mid-afternoon, but also after supper or even half hour after every meal. Do you get wired and tired when supper rolls around or just after supper? Are you intimately acquainted with the term witching hour, that 4 to 5 p.m. wildness that comes like clockwork every afternoon, either yourself or in your children? Totally had that. Do you struggle with brain fog? I've already said yes to all of them so far. Do you struggle with cognitive stuff or memory? Do you have the diagnosis of PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome? Do you have type 2 diabetes? Oh, well, that's an obvious one. Type 1 diabetes as well, which is a different ballgame altogether. There will be some pieces for you in the network if you are diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, but I am not necessarily the holistic nutrition practitioner for you, because at that point, you really need to count your macros and figure out that blood sugar balancing and insulin piece. You'll get some good foundational pieces here for sure. Do you have autoimmune issues and autoimmune diagnosis? Do you have a chronic disease? Heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, COPD, asthma, thyroid issues, depression, anxiety, ADHD, autism, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, those types of things. Do you know that you have inflammation, or do you suspect? Do you feel stress keenly? Are you the person who jumps and scares easily? That sort of reaction where people are like, whoa, that's too much. Pipe down over there. Have people told you, or do you sense that people walk on eggshells around you? Yeah, only compassion, honey. I am that person, unfortunately, for my sweet family whom I adore. Do you wake up in the middle of the night making all of the lists, or do you wake up in the middle of the night remembering all the things that went wrong your entire life? They call it memory mattress, memory foam for a reason. All of the memories live in there and they infuse into your brain at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? No. Are you the person who can't go without snacks during the day? Do you wake up more tired than when you went to bed? Are you a chronic worrier? Do you have any type of thyroid issues, whether they are diagnosed or not, or you wonder or you question? Hypothyroid, Graves, Hashimoto's. Do you take Synthroid? I have clients, it's so interesting to me. I have clients who, when I ask, all right, so has anybody talked to you about your thyroid? Nope, my thyroid's fine. Then we get to the questions of, okay, what medications are you on? Well, I'm on Synthroid. Oh, Synthroid is for thyroid stuff. Well, I don't know. My doctor gave it to me, so they never told me it was for thyroid. They just gave me Synthroid. So if you're taking Synthroid, you have thyroid troubles. Levothyroxine is another name for it. Other stuff. Do you have candida? Blood sugar balancing issues, honey. Is your metabolism off? Do you have a hard time staying warm? Do you have a hard time with the output of energy? Do you have cold hands, cold feet? Do you have weight gain where you're like, I eat less than my husband. How come he runs hot like a furnace and I'm cold all the time? And I eat half of what he does and I'm heavier than he is. That is the scenario in our house. My body's also trying to protect me, by the way. Have you been diagnosed with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? That is all blood sugar balancing sugar. This was me. The only thing that brings you back to earth is red meat. This is how it was for me. I'd be the person where I would eat what society told me was the thing to eat when it was in the 1990s. I would eat my, Special K cereal with skim milk for breakfast. God forbid we get fat. I would eat my salad with skinless chicken at lunch or a can of tuna, because isn't that really healthy? And then by 2 o'clock, I would be ready to punch my boss in the throat and not answer her questions because I was done with the day. And it was with my pregnant friend, Nadine, who was a coworker at the time, where we would figure out at 2 o'clock, I would go down with her because I couldn't function. And we go down and we would get a Big Mac at 2 o'clock every afternoon, like clockwork. And it was the one thing that brought me back to earth. I felt like my body was separating, like my mind was separating from my body and it was shaking. I couldn't function. I couldn't think. I felt like I was in the clouds and my body was on the ground and I was losing that connection. And when I ate red meat, that forced me to come back into my body. Is this you? Do you skip breakfast? Have you tried intermittent fasting, felt really great for some time, and now you feel like crap? How is that intermittent fasting working for you? There is a blood sugar balancing component there, and intermittent fasting has great results short-term. Long-term has the potential of setting you up for blood sugar balancing issues. I will not help you through intermittent fasting. I will not help you off of intermittent fasting, but when you're off of it and you've got things figured out, then I am the person for you after that. Are you the person who relies on coffee, green tea, or sodas or cola to get you through the day, or Mountain Dew, which has a lot of caffeine in it? Do you crave carbs all the live long day? Do you think about pasta all day? Do you eat 2 sleeves of the Oreo cookies from the pantry because you could not help yourself? Are you the person at 4 o'clock when you get home from work, you can't help but open the bag of chips and salsa? Are you the person who at 8 o'clock at night, you've been working so hard and then you feel like you lost your willpower and you ate the entire bag of chips watching Netflix? Honey, that is not a willpower question. That is you've been in blood sugar troubles all day long, and look at you choosing to survive in the moment. Zero shaming, zero tisk, tisk, tisk. Only deep comprehension of what your body's asking for. And how about instead of going, don't eat that bag of chips, get your willpower together. How about instead we say, oh, do you want to know why you need that bag of chips? Because if you don't eat it, your body perceives you're going to die. How about we get you to the point where your body doesn't perceive you're going to die? The way you're eating is not serving you right now. Let's shift it. And the pieces to shift it is what we're talking about in the Good Food Network this month. Do you get headaches? Do you have histamine issues? I'm seeing this more and more. Histamine is my specialty. It's what I see mostly in my clients, and I have it myself. When you're struggling with histamine issues, for many of us, there is a blood sugar regulation issue that stokes histamine and makes it worse. Do you struggle with mood or anxiety? Do you feel like you're on a roller coaster over the course of the day? This can be in a couple of different ways. Are you on a roller coaster of emotions over the course of the day? Are you like, are emotions your superpower? That's how I like to think of it. Are you on a roller coaster of energy over the course of the day? Yeah, I feel really good. Oh my God, I need a nap. Are you on a roller coaster with brain function and sort of cognitive capacity where like, I can get my work done at 9 a.m. and I'm really good and I am on it. And then when lunch hits, like, is that you? Yeah. So roller coaster of either emotions, energy, or mental capacity. Do you have adrenal stuff on the go? Sugar, there's a blood sugar piece to this that is stoking the fires. Yeah. Do you sport the best muffin top in town? I do. So sorry, no one else is going to say yes to that but me. Do you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol? Or has anybody told you, ooh, your arteries are thinning because they are thickening with that plaque? You've got plaque deposits, or what they call, the official term is atherosclerosis. Blood pressure, high cholesterol, atherosclerosis. I'm going to add to this cataracts. I'm going to add to this Alzheimer's and dementia. These are all the end result of blood sugar imbalance issues that have been going on for too long. I'm going to add to this as well, gout. Do you struggle with any of these? Does your immune system struggle and get hit with all the things? Are you the person who gets all of the flus and you have a hard time and your spouse does not? Oh, apparently I'm just talking about myself today. Do your skin wounds heal slowly? Oh, look, the second one that I don't have. I have all the others. So really, I should really call myself a blood sugar balancing holistic nutrition practitioner, because that is apparently everything that I need to do for myself. All right, so that is a long list. So if you need a screen grab of this, I'm going to scroll it back up. So if you need a screen grab, go ahead and take a screen grab of this, either with your phone or on your device where you're watching. So you've got this list here. Let's go to the bottom of the list, and you can do another screen grab if you need to. These, and I haven't even put them all on there, add to this gout, cataracts, Alzheimer's, and dementia. These are all long, or if you have cardiovascular disease, if you've had heart attacks, these are all blood sugar balancing has a piece to play in all of this. So fun. Who's sad now? I don't want you to be sad. Okay. I want you to know that blood sugar balancing has very slow, methodical, it takes a long time for it to show up in your body. First things first. So when you start to pick up on these symptoms, it's been going on for a long time. Okay. Like I saw an estimation this morning, 5 to 12 years, somewhere in there. It's been going on at least. Okay. So do you know what the good news is? Shifting things through foods shifts it slowly, and you can reverse a lot of what's going on in the body. That's why specifically with the real food, where it very much excels is at balancing your blood sugars. More than anything, everything I'm doing with clients is to actually balance blood sugars, because that is everything. It really actually is everything. So blood sugar balancing, when you said yes, however many check marks, put in the chat below. I would love to know. Okay, we've got somebody who just added something and I can't see it. Okay, I'll have to come back to the chat after I've shared my screen. So I'm curious to know, how many of the symptoms did you say yes to? How many check marks did you put on your piece of paper? Yeah. Good work, body. That is also, if you have those symptoms, it is a sign that your body is working really hard at balancing your blood sugars, and she has not given up on you. It is not your body working against you. These are all signs that your body is doing the work of balancing. They're also signs that she needs help. So these are all indicators that your body is working hard to balance blood sugars, but you are on a roller coaster all day long. So now let's bring in some of those lifestyle hacks that can help address when you're on that roller coaster. And it's not by accident that I chose the most terrifying looking roller coaster, because that is how it can feel when you've got blood sugar balancing issues all day long. You have no idea if you're going to make it through the day or not. And it starts to really deeply impact your life. So to make it clear, when these symptoms are around, it's an indicator that your metabolic health is off. That feels so like, I don't know, metabolic health is kind of like the word du jour, it seems like. Well, what does that mean? When your metabolic health is off, it means that is showing up as stress in the body. It's showing up as chronic disease. Goes on for a long time, you start to get diagnosed with autoimmune conditions. It's also an indicator that there is low-grade inflammation going on. It can be an indicator that there's some histamine stuff on the go, that there's hormonal stuff on the go. When you have any of the symptoms that I just mentioned that you said yes to, this is an indication that all of these pieces are off and your blood sugar mechanism in the body is working hard and is asking for assistance. When this is going on, the biggest piece that's impacted here is your metabolic health. So the biggest piece impacted when you have blood sugar imbalances is thyroid and your adrenals, and everything that the thyroid and adrenals have a part to play in. So that's at the core of what's going on. Blood sugar imbalances really start to wreak havoc on the thyroid, the adrenals, and actually your liver. I would add liver to this. I was trying to not be too overwhelming. You're so well connected. Your body is a symphony that is a closed loop system. So let's flip that around. All the symptoms listed above, they are the way that your body is telling you that your blood sugar balancing things in the body are working hard and you need an assisting. So it'll make sense to put supports in place for all of those first parts of the equation. So when the body is telling us that those blood sugars are hard to regulate, all of the yeses and the check marks you made, we then go in to support metabolism. We go in to reduce stress in the body on all of the levels, the external stress, the internal stress of stuff not working in the body, and we support that emotional stress, anything to do with relationships and emotions. We also look at reducing what's driving chronic disease. Some of the work involves getting to the root. For some, if it doesn't resolve with the starter pack of things to do, then we need to start digging deeper to get at what's at the root. And that is where I can help you with that piece. We also need to reduce what's contributing to autoimmune expression. This really actually means you support your gut and your immune system, and then you reduce inflammation in the body overall. Here's the secret. Everything that I talk about and every recipe I offer is anti-inflammatory. So everything I talk about is about reducing inflammation in the body. Everything I propose is about supporting metabolic health. Everything I propose is to reduce stress in the body. When you do that work, now you reduce the symptoms. That's how holistic nutrition works. It is small, doable, manageable steps you put in place for yourself so that you can ensure longevity, so that you can ensure slow and methodical reducing of what is driving those symptoms. And when you get at the root, the beautiful part of this is that sometimes you even forget you used to have some of those symptoms. In my early days working in nutrition, I had a client who, in our initial, I asked for the top 5 health concerns, and one of his top concerns was, I have a sore back all the time. So in conversation, okay, so item number 3 on your list, I have a sore back. How does that impact your days? Well, it limits how much I can play with my kids. And I feel like I'm shortchanging my kids. I can't get on the floor with them and go out and do tobogganing and all these pieces. And I really miss that. I'd like that to come back. So we did our work and we addressed a lot of what was going on for him. And he comes back for a second appointment. And then I say, okay, it's been 6 months since we've put in all these pieces. Tell me, how is your back? I don't have back pain. Well, you used to. He goes, no, I never had back pain. I don't feel like anything has shifted. And I don't know that anything we did actually helped, Luca. I'm here because my wife told me to come. Okay. So when we first met, you said to me, I have a sore back. He goes, no, I don't have a sore back. I never did. I said, you did. You said, here are my notes. It is limiting how much you can play with your kids. Oh, I did. He said, that's right. I forgot. So if we get you to that point where you don't even remember what that initial symptom was, you don't even remember having it. Oh, friend, we got to the root of it. And not even the memory of it is there, which is like an energetic indication that we did the work. So yay, that's what I want for you, is to have you even forget you used to have those symptoms, which works to my disadvantage as a holistic nutrition practitioner. Because at the end, when I work with people, they fire me because they're like, nothing we did worked, Luca. I think I wasted my time with you, which hurts my feelings. But also secretly, I'm behind the scenes going, yes, because I see you, honey. And I saw all the symptoms you came to me with. And 4 out of those 5 ones are gone. You don't even remember them. So with blessings, I send you off into the future. Ouch to my little ego, because you don't like me anymore, but also good for you. I'm so proud of you. So anyway, just a little story there. And I see that actually happen quite a bit with clients. It's kind of funny and hard, but good. So that's how you know you have blood sugar balancing issues. So if you said yes to at least 2, if you have at least 2 check marks on your list, let's go into what you want to know. Well, this month, if you want to start addressing it, we have bi-weekly office hours. So bi-weekly office hours, we are going to meet every second Tuesday, and you can come and join live. All you have to do is go into the live sessions. The replay is available. And if you join today, you actually get the replay, the latest one that we did. If no one comes to those weekly office hours, then there's nothing to watch. There's no replay. And I give you updates through the group chat, so it saves you time of having to root around and figure out if there's anything to watch as your replay. But this is the place, the biweekly office hours is where you can say, oh, Luca, I said yes to these 3 check marks. And I really want to know, actually, how can I address these 3? That's what we'll talk about in the office hours. Or I watched this class in the office, in the network this month, and I need clarification on what this means, because I have this. Is that what this is? Then we clarify that. For example, last month we talked about hormones. And part of one of the sessions we talked about was eating liver as one of the superfoods to help balancing hormones. To which one of my clients said, well, no, we can't eat liver because of vitamin A toxicity. Isn't that right? So then that biweekly office hours that we did that week was all about liver toxicity, vitamin A toxicity, and how it's a supplement question, not a real food question when you're talking about vitamin A toxicity. So clarified things for her so that it could make sense. So she knew which steps to put in place for herself. All of the work I do is all steeped in science, so fret not. We are diving deep to really get at the root. My only agenda is for you to feel better, truly, honestly, and not coerce you into taking supplements. I'm just a foodie. Yeah, So biweekly office hours is where you will get some of those pieces. Now, if you are the person who is also struggling with blood sugar balance issues, but you don't know where to start, well, here for the month of December, we're going to have every Thursday morning at 7 a.m. We're going to be covering different topics. How to know if you struggle with blood sugars, and then we'll get a bit deeper than what we talked about today in this session right now. December 15th, we'll talk about those best top 3 foods for blood sugar balancing, so it could be clear for you with ideas on how to incorporate them. We're going to talk about chromium. Chromium is one of those nutrients you really need for blood sugar balancing. And on the 29th, we're going to do roots and shoots for blood sugar balancing. This is kind of next level, I suppose. So these are 15 to 20 minutes in length. They're every Thursday morning at 7. You get to catch them live if you want, or you can watch the replay. That is one of the offers at the smorgasbord. So we just talked about food as medicine. Now we've also got that live class this month where we're going to be going to level 400 supports. This is where we're going to talk about supplements, where we'll talk about superfoods, where we'll talk about how to bring everything together to get you into a routine that shifts with the season so we can meet the demands that are on our physiology. So the blood sugar level 400, we are doing this on December 14th. There is going to be a replay available. Once the class is done, the replay is available here. All you do is you click on there and you can access it for the rest of the month. So if you can't join us live at 9 a.m. on December 14th, then part of when you're setting up your schedule for yourself is that if, for example, you dedicate Monday nights at 7 to diving into the network, then the Monday following December 14th, you're going to put at 7 p.m., go back and watch that BSB level 400 class. What else do you have access to? So that's the live stuff. And the live, to be clear, all of this you can catch live or catch the replay if it doesn't jive with your schedule. And the times are all Alberta time. They should be the live sessions, because they are all on Zoom. You have Zoom links to join them in the sessions here. The hub where it's all hosted is going to adjust the times for where you are. So if you are in the network and you happen to be in New York, it's going to tell you 11 a.m. If you happen to be in Vancouver, then it's going to tell you 6 a.m., which of course you'll catch the replay. Now let's get into other offerings on your buffet this month. Pre-recorded content. This is on demand. This is kind of like the Netflix of the Good Food Network, if you will. The pieces you can go to whenever you want. So if you want to catch all of these, then these are what you're going to want to schedule in for that hour every week. Do you see how there's so much on offer? I know. People who were in the newsletter this month received actually this module as a freebie or as a piece to check out. Scratch cooking, what does it mean and how do you do it? This is a 34-minute, 53-second video that takes you deep into the concept of scratch cooking and why this is important and what that might look like. This was all part of a program I ran a couple of years ago called the Real Food Reset. It got rebranded into the Real Food Redux so that it was a little bit more doable. But scratch cooking is one of those big needle movers. If you are already well acquainted, or if you're like, I actually kind of know what scratch cooking is, Luca. I don't use packaged foods that often. I am cooking simply. I'm steaming green beans and carrots with butter for dinner with my pork chop on the barbecue. Then this is one of the ones you might be like, I'm going to scratch it off my to-do list. I don't want to watch it. Be realistic with your time and be honest with the amount of effort and energy you want to put into this without giving too much. Part of the work of being in the network is becoming that caretaker and the gatekeeper, if you will. You don't have to do everything in the network. Part of the work now becomes in you picking and choosing and prioritizing. And that is actually part of the work of reducing the overwhelm, which goes to reducing what's driving your adrenal stuff, which drives blood sugar balance issues. I know it's all part and parcel. This is all fine. I've put it together with the intention of really making it help you build those skills to address what's at the root. So scratch cooking is one of those on-demand sort of Netflix kind of approach. This is the biggie. So blood sugar balancing, I just finished yesterday. I just built it this week. It took me 3 days to build this class. It's a 2-hour class. It is part of my vitality sessions. It is not available anywhere else right now. All of my other ones are, but the blood sugar balancing one is only available in the network. One, it is available to everybody else. The cost of it will be $50. What's the network? $55 a month. Oh, why don't you sign up for the network? Good idea. So it's a 2-hour class you can access in order to get to know your body and the inner workings in a bit better detail. So it's a full 2-hour class on blood sugar balancing. What we do in these classes, they're all broken down into shorter videos. For blood sugar, there's actually 11, and they range from 4 minutes to 20 minutes. So on your handout, you get to circle all of the modules once you've done them, so you can keep track of where you're at in the class. Each of these modules has a little bit of a different piece to understand when it comes to blood sugar balancing. So just to give you an idea, you've got your handouts and your recipes. Get the lay of the land, so sort of an intro piece. Then we talk about how to get you from the roller coaster to the carousel and why that is the work of blood sugar balancing. Blood sugar balancing, what actually is it? What does it look like and what's involved? What are the organs? What's the biochemistry of it? That sort of thing. Okay, but when my blood sugars are off, what is going on in the body? And how does that drive some of my symptoms? Why this is all about inflammation and why this is all the same as a saber-toothed tiger. Yeah, but hang on, what's so bad about blood sugar imbalances? Oh, and then there's negative impacts, things that negatively impact your blood sugar balancing. And I lay all of this out so that you can understand all of the contributing factors when there's blood sugar balancing issues at play, so that you can clearly make your way out. Then we get into life hacks. So these are your to-do list. So life hacks 1 and 2, 3 and 4, number 5, and a wee bonus piece. And I'm trying to really fine tune these to be a little bit more practical. The last one always tells you where to go next when you've got life hack 1 through 4 in place. And if you're not seeing the results you want, now you need to dig deeper, and this is where you can go. And then we've got the food recipes and your homework. So these are the 11 parts to that blood sugar balancing piece in that 2-hour class. So might I recommend, if you're not sure where to start once you join the network, this is where you should start. This is a really good class. I had a lot of fun putting it together. It is one of those foundational classes. You know, when you look after balancing your blood sugars, I really think it's one of the pillars of reducing what's driving your symptoms. Doesn't matter what your symptoms are. Do you have symptoms? Do you have a chronic disease, autoimmune issues, histamine, inflammation? Do you not feel awesome? And then your blood work comes back and goes, no, you're fine. But you're like, oh my God, menopause is kicking my butt. Or, oh God, I can't even get up in the day and I can't function. How come? But my doctor says I'm fine, but I don't feel fine. Yeah. Blood sugar balancing is one of the pillars. Balancing hormones is another. Looking after your gut for sure is another. And improving your sleep is another. Those are the 4 pillars that I think of. So all of these with me, we will always talk about how to support you with the real food. And this is how we do it. All right, what else is available on that sort of Netflix on demand thing? So the pre-recorded content, we have an actual cooking class where we get into curries. So this is from a series I used to run with my kiddo. This month we're doing number 4. So there's a different one every month. It has nothing to do with a topic except that it's real food and how to make real food from scratch. That's what this whole series is. The scratch cooking fundamentals. So in week 4, or in module number 4, which is the one we're featuring this month in the network, it's a whole cooking class on curries. So you're going to learn to make butter chicken, a Thai green curry, a tikka masala, and a curry paste from scratch. Whoop, whoop. And whoop, whoop. This is such a fun class. We had so much fun. It is one that my daughter and I ran together at the beginning of the pandemic because we were sad in our home. And it was a class that she and I had done. Well, she had taken, I had taught it at her junior high class the previous 5 years, and she had taken it along the way. And I thought, okay, well, let's offer it up for the people who are at your school right now in junior high, where she was at the time. And then let's open it up to other people. And then let's just cook on Fridays. We'll send the grocery list on Monday. Everybody gets to pick up what they need for their recipes on Friday. And then we all meet on Zoom at 1:30 on Fridays. Ended up recording those and saving all of those classes. And now that's what you get. So it's 2019, 2020? Oh, this is 2 years ago. It's not even that long ago. Anyway, it's a whole class on making curry. And there's my kiddo, isn't she so cute? Ding, 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 ding. So we have super fun in that class. That's a really this was a class originally designed for junior high kids. So it's a class that everybody can attend. So if you have young ones in your life, nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren, this is the kind of thing where if you want on Saturday, if you have any kid who's really into food, bring them in and on a Saturday, make sure you've got your grocery list and you've got everything figured out. And then bring them over and watch this class together. The beauty of watching this on demand is you can hit pause while you're running to prep something because you don't want to lose track of what's happening in the class. So scratch cooking, we're doing curries this month. And those are all of the components in the network. Again, when you come, the smorgasbord offers you the intro and main topic information and some of the admin stuff, like all about your network subscription. We have 3 parts to the network. There's the live sessions. Again, 2 Tuesdays in the month of December, we'll be meeting at noon on Tuesdays. Can't join us? Catch the replay. Send your questions in beforehand. Thursday morning, 7 a.m., we do a 15 to 20-minute video on food as medicine. Specific topic is all about blood sugar balancing. The live class for this month on December 14th, we're going to be talking about level 400 things to bring in when you want to balance your blood sugars. At any point during the month, do the on-demand stuff. When are you going to dive into that scratch cooking module to get the reasons why? This is the sort of heady part of scratch cooking. The last one, the curry class, is the practical application of why scratch cooking is important. Yes. In the middle there, we've got that 2-hour class on blood sugar balancing. Get into that one, will ya? That is the crown jewel this month. And then your written content, you've got your recipes and how to move through the season. So now 20, Alicia, you said yes to 20? Oh, honey, I think the network might be of service to you. I'm just saying. So who needs this? Well, if you have said yes to at least 2 of those pieces where we ran through symptoms, Good Food Network may be for you. Now, it may be for you if you are able to dedicate 1 hour a week. And I would dare say, if you're new to working with me, if you want to commit a half hour, you're going to need to figure out how this whole network works, how to access all the content on what I call the hub. I have a training video to show you. So I'm walking you through all the steps with the visuals. For those who are visual learners like me, then you'll be able to access that as soon as you sign up for the network. That link gets sent to you so you can really get the lay of the land. If you want to join, the cost is $55 a month. Now, here's the deal. It's a subscription service, which means you join when you want help. You get 7 days to try it on for size. And if at the end of day 7, you're like, nah, I don't want to do this, Luca. It's too much. I'm overwhelmed. Or I can't, no, it's not what I thought it would be. I don't like it. Or if you secretly went in and printed everything, and at the end of 7 days, you're like, I want my money back. Go for it. You get to send me a message. You have instructions on how to do that. I will reimburse you 100%, and I will take that $5 fee that the payment people take. I'll cover your $5 fee for you. I don't care, because it's way easier to do it the way I'm doing it. To reimburse you 90% of it would just be ridiculous, and it takes too much work on my end. So if at the end of 7 days, you're like, no, it wasn't for me, it's not what I thought it would be, then you send me a message and I take you out and I reimburse you 100% everything you've paid. At the end of the month, if you stayed in for the full month and you got your $55 worth and you're like, ooh, what is next month, Luca? Then I announce in that last week what we're talking about in the next month, so you can decide whether you want to stay in the network or if it's time for you to go. You can come and go as you please. If you want 2 months off because you are going to Mexico and you don't have a really good connection in Mexico, then let me know. I'll take you out and then we'll sign you up when you're back and you're ready to come back into the network. So it's a come and go as you please. You pay for the month you're in. If you join on today, and today happens to be December 14th, you'll be in until January 14th. unless you want to keep staying in, and on it goes. So it's a subscription service. You get to stay in as long as you want. If you have any questions about everything I've covered, just hit me in either the chat below if you're watching on Facebook. I'll get back to you. If you're watching this live, you can also put it in the chat box here. If you're watching on YouTube, hit me in the comments below and let's get your questions answered. Give it a trial for 1 week. If you don't like it, no worries, no hard feelings. I will set you up and it's all done manually. So you just send me an email and I'll take care of it. You don't even need to do anything. I'm here to help you. And my gig is always to help demystify and make the practical doable. Make the information I share doable and practical and attainable. You are the gatekeeper though. So it takes two of us. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not coming over to your house to cook for you. You couldn't afford me because I don't want to do that either. And if I'm doing the work for you, then it's not going to work for you. You have to do the work. So join the network when you're ready, when you're tired of your symptoms, and when you've got the wiggle room in your life to dedicate 1 hour a week with that initial half hour to learn how things work and find your way around the hub. Once you get it, it's fairly straightforward. You can't break it. You can't make anything disappear. There are some little tricks when you get lost. That's all in the training video. So if you have any questions, hit me up. You can also email me at lucasimmons@gmail.com. It's just like my name, Luca Simmons. In the meantime, I wish you some good health and good, delicious meals ahead in this month of December. Thank you for joining me today. And we'll see you hopefully in the network. Salut et à bientôt.